Story time on how a lecture I took in college when I was 19 helped me get through my son's autism diagnosis. So back when I was a sophomore in college, I had to take a sociology course, and the professor was interesting. She always wore short skirts and her hair was always different colors. She was just a very interesting individual. And every day during class, she would answer phone calls. And I remember thinking, like, how unprofessional is this that she answers her phone every time it rings during lecture? So one day she was doing a lecture on the different stages of grieving, and she was discussing with us that even though some of us may have not lost anyone in our lives yet, we've probably grieved something. And if you're unfamiliar with the stages of grieving, I will include them somewhere on here via Google because honestly, I didn't remember them either. But she went on to explain that someone doesn't have to die for you to grieve. She told us then that her two sons, who I believe were teenagers at the time, were both diagnosed with autism. And that every day they call her when they get home from school because she was just giving them the responsibility to get home on their own and get in the house and get a snack. And she had to make sure they were okay. And she told us that when her oldest son was diagnosed, the doctor told her that she was going to go through the grieving process. And she thought, what do you mean? I'm not going to grieve my son. He's still right here. And the doctor explained to her, yes, but the future that you thought you were going to have with your son is now different. The expectations that you had just changed. And a lot of the experiences that you thought you were going to have, you likely aren't going to. Or those experiences are going to be a lot different. And she told us that she did indeed end up going through the stages of grieving. Now, flash forward 7-ish years when I start to go through the process of getting my son diagnosed with autism. As I'm sitting there upset and crying and not knowing how I'm getting through this, I flash back to that lecture and her saying that she went through those stages of grieving and that it's perfectly normal that I am. Knowing that someone else had gone through that helped me so much. That is the only lecture that I have any memory of from that semester of college, and I'm so glad that I was able to remember it. And it's sad because that professor will probably never know how much she helped me.